Hello, welcome back to the Girl versus Life podcast produced by Girl versus Planet. And I'm your host. My name is Sheryl. So today I'm going to be talking about how to survive unemployment. If you know me, you know probably that I was actually laid off back in September. So a little bit of the story behind that is that I was on vacation with my husband. We were in Greece. This was the first full day of our vacation. And in the morning, we are just still chilling at the hotel. My husband is outside reading, and I get this phone call from my boss. And it's a little weird that he would call me while I'm on vacation. And at first, I didn't answer, but I sent him a text message and was like, hey, or did you just try to call me? Because you never know, it could have been an accident. And he's like, yeah, can you give me a call back? So I did. And come to find out, I was among thousands of people laid off from my company. And my last day was about 3 weeks after that. And I got some severance, but uh, I got laid off. And that was back in September. It's December now, and I'm still dealing with that. I work in IT, information technology, and a lot of people have been getting laid off lately. Also, a lot of people have been working remotely, like more so than used to. And I've been working remotely since 2016, and I've just been working remotely that whole time. And so now, with all the people that are wanting remote jobs, it's harder. It's harder to compete because you have so many people that are trying to get jobs remotely that you're competing with people from all over the country as opposed to just in your own locality. So, yeah, it's been hard. So, it I wanted to talk a little bit about it today just because I know I'm not the only one going through it. And it's a struggle for me, so I'm sure it's a struggle for other people. And there are things about it that I didn't expect or didn't prepare for. So, I thought I would talk a little bit about that today and kind of how to survive when you're dealing with that. Now, I'm not really going to talk about how to find a new job exactly because I haven't quite figured that out yet myself, obviously. So I'm more just going to talk about kind of how to mentally deal with that because it's difficult. It's not something you were prepared for or expecting, and it affects your finances, it affects your mental health. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit today. So when I lost my job, I was on vacation. So, kind of an odd time to lose your job, but it also helped keep me from really having to think about it for like another almost 2 weeks, honestly, because that was like my first full day of vacation. So I was not home yet. And I kind of just put it off, tried not to think about it, and just decided to enjoy my vacation. And I did. It was great. We went to, a few different countries in Europe and we enjoyed ourselves despite the bad news. So I got to put it off. And honestly, thinking back to September when I found out this news, I thought that I would just find a new job pretty quickly. I was working for a large company and I thought that I would find something else there pretty easily. I thought, surely there's other positions. My knowledge about the company has to mean something and I can get another position there. But that actually has not happened, sadly. So I've kind of gone through different feelings about all of this because obviously I started off on vacation, didn't really think about it, came back, expected to hopefully find another job rather quickly. So that did not happen. And now I am here 3 months later and I still haven't found anything yet. So I'm kind of having to come up with new mental thought patterns about this because obviously I'm not on vacation anymore and I didn't find another job quickly and I'm still applying for jobs and here I am still unemployed. So it's taken me through a kind of a roller coaster of a roller coaster of ups and downs. So it's kind of a mix of feelings like panic freedom because you have all this free time now and you feel shame because you haven't found anything yet. You feel like you're maybe not qualified. Um, and just kind of you feel like, what now? It's a weird loss of routine. Time is different. What surprised me is that I almost never know what day it is because every day is like, is it Friday? Is it Saturday? Is it Monday? The days are just all the same because I don't have meetings and things going on to structure them by anymore. So that is different. And just there's a lot of pressure just to kind of to get a job, to figure your life out, to figure out what you're going to do next. And so I just kind of wanted to talk about that some today in hopes that this might help other people out too and to help me to talk through it a little bit. So, what no one tells you about losing your job, you don't expect this. This is not something that you really, I mean, I had no idea. I did not see it coming. Maybe I should have. One thing that was interesting to me that I didn't expect is that I legitimately felt like I was mourning the loss of my job. I was proud of getting this job and I had not known anybody at the company prior to getting it. So it wasn't anything that I had a connection or networking helped me get. It was anything like that, which I know is a big help nowadays. It was just something where I had applied. Somebody had seen my resume and said, "Hey, she looks like she would be good for this job." And so I was proud of that. And I liked my job and I liked the people that I work with. And so I was sad. I'm still sad. I want that same job back. I really liked it. And so you mourn the loss of something that you didn't know you were going to lose. So that's something that nobody really tells you or that I at least did not expect. The free time that you have, it doesn't feel free because you feel like you should be spending all of your time looking for another job. And if you're not doing that, you feel like you're slacking off, which you're not. I mean, you were spending 40 hours a week working. Why should you be spending any more than that? Why? I mean, that's a lot of time to spend just looking for jobs, 8 hours a day, too. You don't have to spend all of your time doing that. I mean, there's only so much that you can do. There's only so many jobs that you can apply for in a day. And mentally, you will need a break. Physically, you will need a break to just kind of get your bearings and to wait to hear from those jobs. You don't hear from them immediately, even if you do get an interview or if you get a job offer, you're not going to hear immediately. So don't feel guilty for not spending all of your newly found free time applying for other jobs because it's just not mentally or physically possible for anybody to do that. Also, everybody has some advice. I mean, and that's okay because a lot of people have been in this position before where they've been laid off from their job or they've lost a job. And it's different for everyone. Everyone knows their experience and everyone is willing to share that experience because they want to help you with it or, they feel like they might know something about it that you don't. I mean, here I am giving advice. I mean, I'm not so much giving advice on how to get a job, but just to kind of how to get through that because I mean, I'm still dealing with it. And another thing that you don't think about is that you start doubting your worth. At first, when I started applying for jobs, I thought, okay, this is cool. There's actually a lot more jobs out there that I'm qualified for. I was seeing a lot of postings. I still do see a lot of postings, and I look at them and think, I could do that. You know, even looking at my resume, you look at my resume and I have the qualifications for that job. And I thought, okay, this is cool. Like I'm actually qualified for a lot of jobs. And then to not hear back. I don't know exactly what companies are using nowadays. I know there are applicant tracking systems, ATS. Companies get so many people applying for jobs that they have AI or an automated system sifting through resumes and looking for keywords and looking for degrees and skills. And if your resume doesn't hit that particular sweet spot, then you just get thrown in the trash immediately. And I've definitely experienced that. I've seen rejections come through pretty fast. And I honestly don't know what they're looking at. I have not found that sweet spot because apparently my resume just doesn't hit it, even though to me it looks like it should. And so you start doubting, like, I have been thinking, am I really qualified? I mean, why? Like, why don't they think I'm qualified for these jobs when I look at the description and I think that I am? It's very frustrating and very discouraging, but you're definitely not alone. To me, honestly, like I just have had such bad luck with this. And it literally feels like I'm playing the lottery. Like I've applied for so many jobs and it feels like I'm paying for lottery tickets. And that's how much it feels like I'm just not having any luck. It feels like I am just a number out there waiting to be called. And it's so discouraging and so frustrating because it shouldn't be that. Um, I'm willing to work hard and I have skills and it's not getting recognized and it's very frustrating. So, what actually has helped me through this? So, here we go. This is what I would really rather talk about. So, I feel like what has helped me is the days when I have been able to make a plan for the day. don't spend your entire day just applying for jobs. I mean, if you want to spend an 8-hour day like your work doing that, go ahead, but you don't have to do that. It's you can only do so much, and applying for a whole ton of jobs is only, I mean, it's going to help you, but it's only going to get you so far because you don't know where that job is going to come up that you're going to get. And I feel like it's better to protect your mental health so that when you do get that interview and when you do get that job, you're in the right mindset to start it. And I feel like the best way to do that is to make some mental space for yourself too. So plan your day, plan your days, and give yourself some structure because that does help some. Look at tiny things like tiny successes, tiny goals. When you got up and you applied for 10 jobs in a day, or even if you only applied for 3 jobs, but you sat down and you spent time on your resume and you spent time learning about the company and the position, and consider it a success because you can't only get better at learning more about companies and getting better skilled. I mean, that's one other thing you could do. Make a small goal to go learn something more, like take a course online or something like that. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything that you paid for. There's lots of free knowledge out there. So spend some time learning something new and something that can help you in your next job, whatever that is. Also, something that has helped me is, I know I said everybody's willing to give advice, but this is a subject that people relate to. Most people have been through this at some point or something related to this, like trying to find a job or being unemployed at some point in their lives or being laid off. Talk to people. It's hard for me because I was used to working from home, and I think I've let myself kind of get into a space where I spend a lot of my time at home and don't always get out there. I'm an introvert, so I don't always get out there and talk to people. And it's good for me to do that. It's good for me to have um that socialness and be around people more. So make an effort to make sure that you're doing that. Also, definitely give yourself permission to rest. Um like I said, if you're going out and applying for all those jobs, it's mentally taxing. It's like a full-time job itself, and you have to give yourself some permission to rest without feeling guilty because everybody needs rest no matter what you're doing. And don't tie your worth or your value to what you're hearing back because like I said, I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming you don't know either exactly um what things these automated systems are looking for when you apply for a job. You don't know who's looking at your resume, what they're looking for exactly. You would hope that it's what's in the job description, but anybody can copy and paste a job description and turn it into their resume. I I don't know. I don't know the answer to that yet. But do what you can. If you're trying to get some extra money, there's a lot of small, odd jobs out there. I have a friend that I've made locally that hosts trivia at some local bars and restaurants. And I have been helping him out. He's gotten so many gigs lately that he can't do them all himself. And I've been helping him out with hosting some of them. So I've gotten a little bit of cash from that. And it's gotten me out of the house and it's gotten me to socialize. So little odd jobs like that. Go and sign up to be a DoorDash driver or drive for Uber or pet sit or house sit. There's lots of little things out there that you could do to earn a little bit of money. I mean, I know it's not like having a full-time corporate job, but it still helps and it will make you feel better, like you're actually doing something worthwhile. Also, when you're feeling bad about not applying enough and feeling bad about how you're spending your time, like you're not feeling like you're productive enough if you're unemployed, then just recognize that that guilt is normal. That's something that we all feel, and it's okay. It's a valid feeling. You don't have to feel guilty, but just recognize that it is normal to feel that. Also, there are certain cool things about being unemployed. I know that sounds crazy. Even saying it out loud sounds crazy to me, but it does give you some space, some time to think back about your job and your career and what you really want. You learn things that you don't learn when you're actively in a job because when you are, you that job can become such a huge part of your identity that you forget who you really are because your job is not you. It is what you do. It is it is only one of the things that you do. It is not you. And it's easy to get sucked into a full-time job that becomes your identity. And having that time being forced to be unemployed and not working actively at a job will give you some time to find yourself again. So I've kind of touched on it a little bit already, but what I personally have been learning through this is that corporate life, like I've never minded having a job and I've enjoyed working for big corporations. I like telling people, hey, I work for this company and they've heard of it and maybe they're impressed or whatever. Maybe they're not. Maybe they've never heard of it. Who knows? But I enjoy working for a large company. And this was really frustrating to me. I know that this happens. I've seen other people laid off. It's no surprise to me, but it's very frustrating. So between getting laid off and having such a hard time finding another job, it's like, what the heck? Like, what are we even doing? You're just a number to these companies. There's no loyalty. My mentor at the company that I was at, they had a mentor program there. And this lady that I got to know, she was laid off the month before I was. She was at this company for 25 years. And there's just, I've seen that so much too. Like you spend your effort and your time and your energy, your job becomes so much a part of your life. And then poof, it's gone just like that. So, I mean, work hard for yourself, be ethical, be be a good worker, but don't make it your whole personality. Don't make it your whole life because in the end, these companies have no loyalty to you. Once you leave a company, it's not that big of a deal to them anymore. I mean, in most cases, it's really not. And applying for jobs, you could be the most talented person in the world and easily not make it through the scanners and your resume just basically gets tossed in the trash. I mean, vote what time and energy that you think that you should to your job and keep in mind that they may not feel the same way about you. So, one other thing I want to talk about that this has kind of taught me or made me think about is everybody talks about using AI now and everybody's using, I mean, recruiters, companies are using AI to sort through resumes. People are using AI to help them make their resumes look good and to hopefully get noticed by recruiters. And it's all this one big crazy circle. And to me, we hear all this talk about how great AI is and what it can do. And yes, it can. It can do a lot. It is a useful tool. But to me, it is just that. It is a tool for humans to use because it cannot replace humans. There is something about a person that has feelings and emotions, and people put their effort into things, and they're not perfect. Machines are also not perfect. AI is not perfect. I've seen plenty of mistakes from AI, and AI cannot apply emotion to a task. So it can never fully replace human beings. And to me, it's sad that people and companies are starting to look at it like that and to save money, quote unquote, save money by losing people and utilizing AI more. And I feel like that's going to come back to bite them. So I guess we'll see, but that's my personal thought. I use AI pretty much every day. I use it to help me with tasks, but I use it as a tool. I don't use it to replace anything. I don't use it to replace people. Computers replace computers. That's the way it works to me. So, yeah, I see it as a powerful tool, but I don't see it as anything that's going to really replace people. We're still going to need people. Ultimately, all you can do is your best. So, even if you're not getting paid, find some kind of purpose. It's easy to get sucked into that guilt and that feeling of not being worthy or not being useful. So, find something. For me, that's one thing that this podcast has been. I've enjoyed just talking and creating these episodes, and I hope to continue it, and I hope that somebody else gets something out of it. It's also been useful for me to spend time with friends and to go out and do things like host trivia and, make a little extra money here and there. Just things that have a goal, a purpose, so that I feel like what I'm doing is worthwhile. And that's helped me. Other things like I said I wasn't going to give any tips on finding a job because I really don't have that, but little things that can add up. Go out and file for unemployment. It's not a lot of money, but it can help keep you going while you look for a job. And unemployment offices, they even have like some tools that can maybe help you if you want help with your resume. So that can be worthwhile. Go out and network, talk to people. You never know when you're going to find somebody that might be working somewhere that needs to hire somebody and you're the perfect fit. You just don't really know. So I know a lot of jobs that I've gotten before and that I've heard from other people that they've gotten has been from networking. I know that's an important tool. So definitely go out and talk to people. Again, like I said, take small things, freelance. What can you do? Can you create a website? Can you help somebody with video editing? Your skills are useful and it will give you maybe some extra money, but it will also help you feel useful as well. And then savings, I know nobody wants to dip into their savings, but ultimately that's what we use it for. It'd be great to take a nice big vacation or do whatever, retire with your savings, but we save up for things that are emergencies, things that are unexpected. And that's what this is. So don't feel bad if you have to do that because that's what it's there for. So just to kind of wrap this up, I hope that this has been something that has been helpful. It's kind of been helpful for me to talk out in my head. Um, Unemployment sucks, but it doesn't define you. Your job is not your identity. It is only a part of your identity. It is a part of you. It is one of the many things that you do as a human being. You're still you, even without a job. You're allowed to feel lost and not know what's next. And you're still an amazing person. So I know that sounds so cheesy and cliche, but it's something to remember because this is not an easy thing to deal with in your life. And I know that. So if you're going through this, I get it. I totally get it. You're not alone. You're not failing. If you're dealing with unemployment or something like this, trying to find a job and struggling, just please reach out to me. Even if it's just to commiserate, I want to hear from you. I want to hear your experiences and your stories and any tips that you might have as well. So give me an email, send me an email. It is Sheryl at girlversusplanet.com. And I hope that you'll subscribe to the podcast. It's on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I'm on Instagram as Girl versus Planet as well. So thank you for listening, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.